Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. So, Bournemouth reaction, guys. Let's just talk about initial feelings. Now, let's not get too specific with the plays. Tom, how did you feel about the result when the dust had settled?
Let down. Obviously, if you've got a 2-0 lead, there for the taking, and you just completely blow it. Obviously, that's everyone was saying, oh, thing like, oh, it's been let down again and that kind of thing. We just let down by refereeing decisions and by our own mistakes as well. I think a lot of the goals we've conceded this season have been our own fault, and it's a shame, really. We just still making mistakes, but it's not our team yet. We've got 5 players, I think, who could walk straight into that team who would not fit at the moment. So it's just so frustrating for us to be playing a weakened team in the Premier League where we've got to be fighting because they're not ready yet. It's like kind of extend the pre-season still because they're just not ready, and it's a shame to see. But I wasn't too happy with Bournemouth. I think we should have got 3 points there. I was hoping to get 3 points from most of our games, and we've dropped 4 points from 3 games already, and we've got the big teams coming up soon, and we're just taking it too casually. So it was a bit of a letdown for me.
Max.
You said it yourself there earlier. I think the game's going to be considered a bit of an anomaly. How do you pronounce it? Anomaly? Is that how you say it? It's just a complete one-off game. 2 red cards, a penalty incident in and of itself, which I'm sure we'll dissect later. It was controversial. But yeah, I've got to agree with Tom. You can't come away from a game after being 2-0 up and be pleased with the result. It's something that got mentioned on Twitter. See, obviously, I know they've probably got management companies creating the captions for them for the tweets and their Instagram posts and whatever. But for the players to be posting that they were happy with the fighting spirit and the result, it's not the right take to have on a game where you should be beating the opposition. Credit where credit's due. Bournemouth, I thought personally, played well, really well. Definitely in the first half, I thought they were much the better team. They were well drilled off the ball, frustrated us. Like Tom said, you were a bit pissed off with them in that they were quite dirty, but similarly to Southampton in that home game. But all in all, 2 points dropped and lessons to be learned from it.
Yeah, like you guys, I'm disappointed. It felt like a loss. Every single time when we play poorly, and we don't get a result, I get up from my couch, I go around the house, and I just clean. Because I have so much negative energy that I need to burn off. Because if I sit there, I can't watch another football game because it reminds me of the shit I just watched. So I can't do that, all right? And I don't want to move on to another sport because it's the same thing. So I literally need something to occupy my brain and my energy. And yeah, so that's what I did. And house looks great now, which is awesome, because I had that much energy to burn. It was an agitating result. I felt great. We got that second one. How weird is it? We played better after the red card. We took it to them. We were a man down, and all of a sudden we just start pressing them. We look good.
We've been in that position before. I think the red card for Jags and the red card for Richarlison happened near enough around the same time in the match. Going into that half-time break, the manager had a big team talk on his hands, and he seems to have delivered on both occasions because we led in that Wolves game and we took the lead against Bournemouth. Yeah, of course, I thought we responded well, and something that I'm sure we'll probably get into later if we're dissecting particular incident. I thought the use of Theo Walcott was crucial, particularly when we went down to 10 men, because it is pace. No matter how old he is, I was thinking back, this has been a tool that he's always had in his box ever since he was younger. His pace is a difference maker in a game. Yep. His goal and the red card were both him getting in behind, and no one could cope with him. I'm trying to be as objective as I can because, as I say, the game was a complete kind of one-off. But yeah, we've got to be disappointed with it. And as I say, lessons learned. So having tools in your box like that pace of Walcott is something that we can use further forward.
Just to stay a little bit positive, Max, who was your personal man of the match?
You know what? I was going to say Pickford because his distribution was spot on, I thought. But given that second goal, he could have done a bit better with the second. I'm going to go with Gylfi Sigurdsson. I thought he's showing his worth now. I think he's causing danger in the area that he gets into, and although he's not gifted with pace, his ability to manipulate the football to do whatever he wants it to do is something quite unique. You know, getting like that incident where he whipped the ball into the box right on the 6-yard line and made Begovic come out for it, although it was probably our only chance of the first half. It shows the damage that he can cause to opposition. So, you know, good performance from him.
Tom, who was your man of the match?
I've done the player ratings for the Toffee Blues, but two on the same level. As Max has said, I put Sigurdsson and Pickford both a 7 out of 10, which there was no standout man of the match really because no one played out of the skin. But those two were a solid 7 out of 10, so they were the best out of a bad bunch really. But I thought Pickford shaking off a bit of his rust that he started the season with because he wasn't quite ready. I know he's really eager to get back, but I think after his holidays and after the World Cup, it was quite a strenuous one for him. I think he was a little bit rusty at start, even his distribution as well. But as we've said, he was much better last weekend, so that was better to see. And I thought Sigurdsson played to his normal level with his normal class, so it was good to see him playing well as well. But it's just I thought Walcott as well. To be fair, Walcott stepped up. I think when Richarlison got sent off, he got better and got more into the game because he has been a little bit peripheral in some games this season. But I thought after Richarlison got sent off, he kind of stepped up and thought, I'm going to have to put a shift in here. And he did. And he got that goal, which he deserved. So I'm happy to see it as well.
I had some trouble with the man of the match because, like you guys said, it didn't seem like anybody specifically stood out. You know, there were some weaknesses, and we're going to go into that in just a second. I considered, just because his improvement has been so great over the past, I considered Keane just because he looks a lot stronger. I'm not sure if he could have done a little bit better on some of their set pieces, though, in terms of corner, covering. But honestly, I don't know. I can't give any specific examples of that. I can't right now. I thought about Walcott because I thought he could have tracked back on defense better. Several moments where the other team had gone the opposite direction, and I saw him kind of jogging, then walking back to get back on D. I kind of see that as a problem if you're a man down, But he's just so good in other areas, and he looked great. You guys are right. It's hard not to. I don't know. I always look back on Idrissa Gueye and I say, I'm surprised his legs don't fall off.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that puts a shift in like him every game for us. Sigurdsson does work as well. That's the other thing about Sigurdsson I think people don't realize is his work rate. It's astounding. But I'm gonna fall back and go Idrissa Gueye again. I can't help it. Did you guys feel like the Coleman challenge was a penalty? Did you guys feel like the Tosin challenge was a penalty? Either one of those, or was it a situation where they were good no calls? Tom, you want to start with that?
I thought the Tosin one definitely could have been. That was a bit contentious. Like I've seen them given kind of thing, but I think talking today, I was in a podcast earlier. We were talking about the standardisation of refereeing in the Prem because every ref would make a different decision on calls like that, and the rules need to be more specific because it's very subjective at the moment, and some referees are given, some wouldn't, and it's very contentious. But it does seem like decisions have gone against us a lot so far this season, with ones being not given and obviously others being given as well, and things like red cards and stuff. But we just haven't had the luck so far, and I hope it's going to swing back around. But we haven't been lucky so far with the refereeing decisions.
Max, your thoughts on those two no calls?
I don't think the Coleman one was. I agree with the Tosin one. Again, it kind of boils down to this: how rules and laws are interpreted subjectively by referees. And I think when you have incidents like that, it highlights other incidents in the game. And you just look at that Baines chance, and I know we've discussed it ourselves in the little group chat we've got, but I thought the decision to give that foul on Wilson by Baines is absolutely ridiculous. I don't think the contact was enough to constitute Wilson to go down like that. it was just kind of like a bump from the back. They were, eyes on the ball, following the ball. He's coming towards his man, and they're both standing up. Wilson's not leaning one way or the other. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Bain just kind of nudges him in the back on towards the ball, and he kind of falls to his side. And then you see the likes of the Tosin incident, and you just see, oh well, I've seen them given. Again, the standard of refereeing lately, particularly in England, is just really disheartening.
My problem is consistency. Okay, that's the number one thing, just within the game. Okay, it doesn't have to be as much game to game. Every referee is going to have those moments where they feel like they need to tighten up, the game's getting out of control. Certain referees, good referees, know how to manage essentially their game. But this situation, if the Baines challenge was a penalty, then those other two should have been. That's my problem, okay? Because there is contact on both of them, and I would even say there's an equal amount of contact on both of them compared to the Baines challenge. Okay? That's my issue. I personally, if I'm refereeing, I don't call either of those three. All right? It's the Premier League. It's physical. Let it be. It's going to happen. But that's my issue, is consistency. If that ref is consistent, then we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Agreed.
And the Richarlison red, we all know, the actual motion itself is not super threatening. He's getting the guy off of him. He wasn't intending to hurt him, clearly. But that motion, according to the rules, means he has to get a red card. And that's what sucks. I'm watching it, and I see that jackass, oh, my God, so angry watching that. Just blood boiling. And I think every single one of us thought, karma, when he got his red. It has to be everybody thinking that. But yeah, I thought we didn't perform well in the first half. I actually saw Coleman having a rough game for a while there. Thought he brightened up in the second. First half, though, he did not look good. He was giving the ball away really cheaply, making a lot of silly mistakes. Not him. Not his style.
I noticed that the emphasis had shifted. Obviously, we saw, particularly in the Wolves game, the Southampton game, how much we used the left-hand side. This game, almost straight away, we seem to use the right as our kind of basis to go off. And as you say, both of the players on the right side, obviously, I think Walcott, of the two, came more into the game, particularly in the second half. But that first half, neither Coleman or Walcott looked up for it. You saw touches going astray, playing undercooked passes, not making it to the ball. It was frustrating, and you kind of got the impression after the first 15, 20 minutes, Everton aren't up for it here. Yeah. It was disappointing, particularly when Richarlison went off, because you kind of thought, we've lost that it factor on the left now as well. As you say, that the whole incident there, it just makes you laugh, doesn't it? Kind of that Adam Smith, the boy who cried wolf and got his own way. But as you say, that for me confirms contact's just gone out of the sport. I said it to Gerry earlier yesterday that the likes of Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira be pissing themselves if they saw incidences like that. But it is what it is. It's the way the game's evolving, and hopefully the wrong can be righted. Hopefully going forward, but it doesn't give you hope.
So we do have to mention, for those of you who weren't watching, rather serious injury to Michael Keane late in the game. He was, when it happened, he jumps up, collides with Idrissa Gueye. He looked out. He looked completely after contact. When he hit the ground, he didn't move. All right? Very scary situation. They brought in that, whenever they bring in that neck stabilizer and they bring in the stretcher, and I did not see his legs move. I didn't see his hands move. I was just worried it was a neck thing. A neck or a back thing. That scared me so much for him. Turns out it's a hairline fracture. He's only going to be out 3 to 4 weeks, which is crazy to me. Frankly, as bad as that looked, he was actually a little lucky. Yeah. Best to Michael Keane. We know you're watching. We know you don't like it when we give you a player scenario and we say you can't survive on a desert island. But, you know, you've been really working hard this season. So get well soon, Michael. All right? Because, you know, we're on a first-name basis, guys. That's how we, you know, me and Michael. Mikey. Yeah. All right. So anything else on this bizarre, I don't know how to really feel situation? Because, I mean, in context, after we went down a man, we did fight. There are some positives there. It's just the collapse just felt very familiar.
Very Everton, wasn't it?
I just don't think that team's ours yet, and I'm just looking forward to seeing the 5 players who will walk into that side actually get in there, because it's not the Everton that is just sitting there waiting to be released, and it's just a weakened team, and I'm just really looking forward to seeing the actual Everton that we know will come good. So at some point in the
Who knows?
season.
We might be seeing a couple of those new guys, maybe 2 or 3 playing coming up this week. We'll talk about that later. So, guys, I guess that's it for our Bournemouth reaction. If you're digging the videos, please subscribe to the Toffee Blues YouTube channel. We just broke 1,100 subs, which is wonderful, and thanks so much for that. Also, you can find Tom. Liverpool Echo fan Gerry. He's got some stuff on there. Now that the season started, he'll be there. Yeah, and follow his. I guess they should just follow your Twitter account for updates on that kind of thing, right? Okay.
Yeah. Tom Clark 40. It's all nice. On there.
Also, Max. He's got some work on. Oh, you know what? Actually, Tom has work on the Toffee Blues website as well. Why do I always forget about that? Yeah, he's just recently done a piece on there this past weekend. Is that when it dropped?
Yeah, they play ratings one and then the Balassi one as well. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I've been neglecting to mention that Tom's there too. All right. So check his work out there as well. Max's stuff is there. He always has analysis on there, and follow his Twitter account too. You never know. He'll be on a pod here or there. Who knows? All right. So yeah, we're gonna move on and talk Rotherham Carabao Cup. So bye.